What if I told you that sometimes the sky opens up with columns of light so perfect they look like pathways to heaven? And they're not supernatural at all, but one of nature's most breathtaking illusions. Picture this. It's a cold, clear winter evening, and the sun has just dipped below the horizon. But instead of fading into darkness, the sky begins to glow with tall, shimmering pillars of light, reaching upward like something out of a sci-fi film. For centuries, people who witnessed this phenomenon called them light bridges, sky spears, or even angel rays. Some thought they were divine signs, others feared they were omens. But the truth is even more fascinating, because these pillars aren't really there. They're an illusion created by something as simple as tiny, frozen crystals floating in the air. So how can something so vivid not be real? And why do these mysterious columns only appear under very specific conditions? To understand that, we need to look closer, not at the sky, but at what's right in front of us. Let's start with the basics. What exactly are we seeing? Sun pillars, or light pillars, are vertical beams of light that seem to shoot up or down from a bright source, like the sun, moon, or even streetlights. They usually appear during sunrise or sunset, especially in cold climates. But here's the twist. The light isn't actually forming a column. What you're seeing is the collective reflection of millions of tiny ice crystals acting like microscopic mirrors. Each one is catching the light and bouncing it back toward your eyes. When billions of these crystals align just right, they create the stunning illusion of a solid pillar of light. Now, you might be wondering, how do these crystals just hang in the air like that? It all comes down to temperature and atmosphere. For sun pillars to form, the air needs to be cold enough for ice crystals to exist, but calm enough that they can float horizontally. These aren't snowflakes, they're plate-shaped crystals, thinner than a human hair, that form in high clouds or in what's called diamond dust close to the ground. When conditions are perfect, these crystals orient themselves almost perfectly flat, like tiny, falling leaves. And as they drift downward, their surfaces act like mirrors angled toward you. Think of it like this. If you took thousands of tiny pieces of glass and dropped them slowly in front of a flashlight, each one would reflect a speck of light back at you. If they're all aligned similarly, those specks overlap, and your brain stitches them together into what looks like a continuous beam. That's exactly what's happening in the sky. The pillar isn't a physical structure, it's a glimmering mosaic of reflected light, an artwork painted by physics itself. But alignment is everything. If the crystals are tumbling or tilted, the effect breaks. That's why sun pillars are relatively rare. They require a delicate balance of cold, calm air, the right type of crystals, and a low light source. This also explains why you sometimes see pillars above and below the light. When the sun is low, crystals above it can reflect light downward, creating a pillar that seems to shoot up from the horizon. But if those same crystals are below the light source, like with city lights on a frigid night, the reflection shoots upward, creating pillars that look like they're rising from the ground. And here's where it gets even more interesting. The color of the pillar depends entirely on the light source. A sunset might produce golden or reddish pillars, while moonlight creates silvery white beams. Artificial lights can make pillars glow in electric hues, from warm yellow to cool blue. In places like Finland or Canada, where temperatures drop dramatically, it's not uncommon to see entire forests of light pillars rising from a single town. turning the night into something surreal and almost dreamlike. What's beautiful about this phenomenon is that it reminds us how much of what we see is constructed by our brains. There's no actual column, just countless points of light, working in harmony to create something greater than the sum of its parts. It's a perfect lesson in perception. Sometimes, the most magical things in nature aren't objects, but relationships between light, ice, and the eye of the beholder. Today, photographers and skywatchers seek out light pillars with the same excitement that once inspired myths. With the rise of social media, images of these glowing columns have captivated millions, turning a once mysterious event into a celebrated wonder of the atmosphere. Yet, even with all our scientific understanding, seeing a sun pillar for the first time still feels like witnessing magic. A moment when the sky itself seems to communicate in light. So, the next time you find yourself outside on a cold, clear evening, look up. You might just catch a glimpse of one of nature's greatest illusions, a pillar of light built not of substance, but of sheer wonder. Have you ever seen a sun pillar or another stunning sky phenomenon? Describe it in the comments. We might feature your story in a future video. And if you love uncovering nature's hidden magic, subscribe to Nature Unlocked and never miss a discovery.